now in session for the matter of the people versus Marcus Wade. Do we have everybody present and ready to proceed?
The state's ready to proceed, Your Honor.
The state may proceed with its opening statement whenever it's ready.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, today the state seeks justice for the murder of Captain Vic Hanna of the LSPD. Only flesh kept his head attached to his body. The state will show through officer testimony, through the very words of the defendant, and through an autopsy and medical examination, how the defendant intended the assault, how they lost control and beat Captain Vic Hanna to death.
Lost control.
We will paint the picture of what happened that day, how young Vic Hanna was in the prime of his life, how he was cut down, offering no violence in return to being assaulted viciously by the defendant, Marcus Wade. Marcus Wade murdered a man he was sworn to stand side by side with, to defend, and the state will prove that today beyond a reasonable doubt as we seek justice for a fallen captain of the LSPD. Thank you. I am Jesse Gallagher. I am hired by the state marshals, and I am a full marshal.
Understood. And concerning the events of October 1st involving Vic Hanna, are you familiar with those events?
Yes, I am.
How familiar are you with those events?
I witnessed the events that transpired directly.
Could you just state in your own words what transpired at that event that you observed?
So I was attending a PD meeting, and during the end of the meeting, as is usual, there is a pledge of allegiance that all officers do. There was a lot of talking and shouting, just in general, as is natural. And what I witnessed was defendant Marcus Wade first push and then directly punch Vic Hanna. Obviously, at that time, I was still stood at the doorway where Mr. Marcus Wade exited. The rest of the officers began to funnel out of the same doorway. Marcus Wade then burst through the door again and punched him in the back of the head, causing him to collapse. Marcus Wade then ran out of the door.
At any point in time, was your observations of this situation obstructed by any means?
No.
Gotcha. So just for clarification of the court, you had a clear view of the entire situation the entire time?
Yes.
And Vic Hanna didn't have any weapons out at the time when he was pushed or punched, right?
No.
Gotcha. Was he showing any signs of physical aggression?
Not that I could see.
Fast forward to moments later when he was struck. Did he have a weapon out at the time?
No.
Gotcha. Was he showing any signs of any physical aggression or threats to anyone in the room at the time?
No.
Okay. And he was struck numerous times. How many times in your total count was Vic Hanna struck by the defendant?
So in total, it was, as I said, a push into a punch. And then afterwards, it was like a running punch through the door kind of thing.
And medical was called immediately to the situation, right?
Vic Hanna was sought medical immediately, yes.
Gotcha. And what transpired during the treatment
She's so
of
cooked. She's so cooked.
medical
The fall
for
broke his neck.
Mr. Hanna?
Oh, dude. She's
So
cooked. No.
Vic
We're
Hanna was
cooking here.
called, medical was called for Vic Hanna. I believe medical arrived on scene, and there is a report. We followed the EMS to the hospital where I believe the EMS failed to get a pulse.
How were you made aware of his condition at the hospital? You said that he had no pulse.
Yes, he was taken to Dr. Skip. Because of the situation, I was immediately organizing to try and get Marcus Wade apprehended for what had happened. And Marshal Grayson, I believe, was stood with outside of the doors, overseeing Dr. Skip and Dr. Peri Wattson's treatment.
No further questions on direct examination for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Cross-examination.
Marshal Gallagher, you said there was shouting going on in the MLPD meeting room. Was Vic Hanna shouting?
As I said, at the end of the meetings, the Pledge of Allegiance, and a lot of officers, are saying the Pledge of Allegiance, so it's hard to take out specific words. But I didn't hear anything vocal specifically with Vic Hanna.
How would you describe Vic Hanna's demeanor in that altercation?
From my point of view, Vic Hanna was stood there, and Vic Hanna is known for being very loud and abrasive and vocal, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary for Vic Hanna.
Okay, but let's touch on that. What was the ordinary for Vic Hanna?
He's loud and abrasive.
Tyler Peters, professional hairstylist.
What job do you have?
Oh, I work for the LSPD.
Okay, what is your rank?
Ass chief.
Were you on duty on the 1st of October?
Yes.
Did you have any involvement in the incident in question today?
No, I didn't kill Vic Hanna.
Did you have any involvement in the incident? Did you witness anything?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I saw the whole thing.
Saw the whole thing.
I wish I wouldn't.
Okay.
Blood and guts and
Okay.
eyeballs popping out and.
In your own words, can you describe
post-mortem defecation?
So, what was your first involvement in the incident? What did you witness?
I wasn't involved, but I did witness it.
Okay, what did you witness?
We were finishing out the meeting for the day, and I got a report about Vic Hanna doing some dumb shit. So I told him he was demoted. Vic Hanna started lashing out right before we said the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was like, "All right, it's time to say the Pledge of Allegiance." At that time, Vic Hanna yelled "America." That's when said events took place.
At the meeting, you receive a report about Vic Hanna. When Vic Hanna stated America, did Vic Hanna have a weapon?
No. Vic Hanna, I mean, he had a weapon on his, police, but no, he had no weapon in sight or in his hands or anything.
Did he present a verbal or physical threat to anybody?
Can you elaborate? I think Vic Hanna just had an overwhelming sense of threat that he carried with him everywhere. He was my golden boy.
So what happened after Vic Hanna stated America?
I witnessed Wade push Vic Hanna. Yeah, and then after that he pushed him, and it kind of turned my head for a second, and looked back over and saw Wade chop him in his fragile little weak neck.
Okay. Where did Marcus Wade chop Vic Hanna?
Right in the neck. Right in the neck bone.
So what happened after Marcus Wade struck Vic Hanna?
He collapsed. He just fell like a sack of bricks and almost immediately defecated himself.
Under God.
F America, I'm out of here.
Justice for all.
You know what?
Hey, don't hit me. I'll shoot you.
You're demoted. You're back to Officer Hanna.
What else is new? Suck my... Ah!
What did you do after this?
I immediately called the marshals. I don't know. That's what I did.
Did you follow Marcus Wade at any point?
I did. Oh, okay. You know what? I did not follow Marcus Wade at any point. I immediately called a sergeant to have that. I called EMS. Had EMS come down. They took Vic Hanna to the hospital, where he fought for his life. He was on life support. There, I just opened up the scope chat, and I called a sergeant to get. Or actually a lieutenant to get Marcus Wade detained, and I had him put into a interrogation room until I contacted the marshals. As to what point I did contact the marshals.
Were you aware of Vic Hanna's status after the strike? What his medical condition was?
Well, he was high as hell. He was on Percocets all the time. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about his physical condition.
Oh, I mean, he was rendered unconscious. He was on life support fighting for his life at that time.
Was this while he was receiving medical treatment at the PD or at the hospital?
That was at the hospital.
So, were you aware of his condition at the PD?
That he was dead?
Were you aware of his medical condition? Was he breathing?
I wasn't. I think I just called EMS. I was in a state of shock. I was in a state of shock because Captain Vic Hanna was my golden boy.
Did you go to the hospital afterwards?
I did go to the hospital.
Okay. Did anything happen at the hospital?
Vic Hanna died.
Do you know the reason for his death? Or the cause of death?
Internal decapitation, I believe.
Yeah, the state has no further questions for this witness.
Okay. Cross-examination when you're ready.
Okay, Mr. Peters, what was the dumb shit that Vic did that day?
Well, it wasn't that day, but Vic essentially... sorry about that. Vic would... there's a ton of... I think he shot... the reason he got demoted for that is he shot a car...
Okay, 50%.
Oh my God, this car!
No. Stop. Hey, no!
Timing.
Terrible timing.
Amazing timing.
Absolutely. There's a sergeant right there.
Hey, how you doing there, Sergeant?
Why'd you shoot your gun?
Car alarm wouldn't stop going off.
Alright, give me your gun. I'm sending off duty.
Here's my gun.
Being suspended.
What the hell, Hannah?
You can go find it.
Going towards, you mentioned Mr. Hanna was on life support. Were you in the room with Mr. Hanna while he was on life support?
Here it is. So what machine's keeping him on life support? I'm not gonna pull the plug on it. I'm just wondering. Yes, I was there.
Did any accidents occur while you were in that room?
Yeah. Well,
What happened?
Well, Vic Hanna was on life support. The plug came out of the wall somehow.
Do you know how it came out of the wall?
I tripped on the wire.
What did it say? What did the note say?
Oh, this cord! What the?
Oh shit! That's
Jesus
not good.
Christ!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 No!
What? Oh, God!
Oh,
Get this
no,
cord off my foot!
Could you untangle him from the cord? While I look over at Vic.
Yeah, you got it tangled out here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Right there.
How long was it out of the wall?
I don't know. It was I hit my head when I fell down. I can't really remember.
You mentioned Vic Hanna being on Percocets. Was he on any other kind of drugs?
Yeah, I mean, Percocet, I think Xanax. I'm not too sure. He had Vic Hanna was a hero. He was unsuccessful in defusing a bomb, but he saved tons of lives here in the courthouse. And that a bomb went off, and I guess Dr. Nancy was able to take an arm from the suspect that blew somebody up and sew it onto his other arm. It's unfortunate because Vic Hanna was left-handed, but he had two right arms.
You say when you tripped over the life support while you were rendered unconscious, is that correct?
I hit my head. I fell. I think the doctor plugged it in. I can't really remember that.
Was Vic Hanna alive before you tripped over that wire?
Fighting for his life. I don't know if he was alive or not.
And you hit your head because you tripped over the life support
Yes,
wire?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, no further questions.
All right, redirect.
Was it after you hit your head?
Yes. Dude, am I gonna have a case against me?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Is Mr. Peters marked for recall by the defense?
Given the character of Mr. Hanna is not being allowed, no.
All right, very well. Mr. Peters, you are excused. Thank you.
That'll be interesting because the autopsy.
Sorry, go ahead.
The autopsy report didn't show anything about the life support machine.
And how long have you been a practicing medical professional in that organization?
7 years.
Understood. And just any given time, let's say over a 6-month period or a year period, how many patients would you see?
100 plus, maybe more, maybe less, depending.
Understood. Do you have any specific specializations or certifications concerning your profession?
One more time.
His ears, nose, and throat specialist.
Ears, no. Okay, ENT. Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
But you said, just for clarification, you are an ex-medical examiner. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
How familiar are you with post-mortem examinations?
Very.
And how many bodies do you think you've examined in any given time during your time as a medical examiner?
Give or take 50 plus, maybe more.
I'm honestly excited to see how they rule on this.
And
I'm
are
not
you
kidding.
still called upon?
I want to hear what
concerning
Wade
that matter,
says
even
if
though
he
it's a
goes up there.
specialization?
Okay, hello, Dr. Watson. Were you on duty on the 1st of October?
Yes, I was.
Did you conduct any autopsies that day?
Yes, I did.
Was it for Vic Hanna?
Yes, it was.
In the report, you stated this the reason of death to be a homicide. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you elaborate for the court how you came to that conclusion?
When it comes to homicide specifically, it's normally when there is an external party involved, external force. It is not due to an individual. So in Vic Hanna's case, he was attacked from the back. So that is why I deemed it as a homicide.
Yep, one moment.
How was he on our side when his head fell off? I don't think his head fell off. I think his spine severed in half.
Before the autopsy, did you attempt to provide medical aid to Vic Hanna?
Yes, I did.
What was his medical condition during the treatment?
His condition was critical. At first, I did try to perform a series of tests to see if he was at all viable. I worked with Dr. Skip because Dr. Skip had treated him beforehand. And upon further examination, there was no viable way for me to be able to continue medical care for him.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Due to the injury with the neck, the brainstem had been damaged, which had caused basically brain dead. Basically, there was no activity within the brain.
This is all they need. They need this. This is it. This is all they need.
Which, in that case, there was no way for me to assist in trying to help his medical care any further.
Was there any incidents that happened during your treatment of Vic Hanna?
Yes.
Okay, can you elaborate what happened?
While I was looking him over, assistant GP did trip over the life support machine. However, it was reconnected very, very fast.
It said, did you? I think the machine. I think I think it needs to be plugged back in. Yeah.
I thought you guys. Oh god damn it!
You just unwrapped it.
Just for record, how fast was it reconnected?
I would say maybe 20 to 25 seconds.
For purposes in the court, can you just elaborate on the time period during the incident? Did anything physical happen to Vic Hanna during your treatment?
No.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep.
You have any other questions on direct?
Is it your testimony that him being off life support didn't affect him at all?
It did not.
Why was he on life support then?
He was on life support as in a way for Dr. Skip to wait for me.
Did he need the life support?
In this instance, no.
So you just put people on life support because?
When it comes to Dr. Skip, we cannot question what he does.
How much force would it take to cause internal decapitation?
Depending if the patient has a past history of anything, the littlest amount or the biggest amount of force.
Let's go with both. Start with the minimum.
The minimum, if say the patient has a condition of what is called as brittle bone disease, the littlest little like tap can break a bone.
Okay.
The maximum.
Did Vic Hanna have brittle bone disease?
I did not look further enough into it.
She's
Okay,
cooked.
let's say
She's cooked.
in a general case, in your general internal decapitation case, how much force is generally required?
The
Come on, shut up.
Internal decapitation is when the spine, spinal cord, and the brainstem have been basically disconnected from the lower half of the body.
Okay. So then I'll ask my previous question. How much force, on average, would it take to cause that?
On average, it's very hard to put an average on it. It's a problem. But it can take anything from a punch to the back of the neck to being hit by a car.
Okay. A punch to the back of the neck in a normal person can cause internal decapitation?
There is a possibility.
Do you have a... How possible is it? Let's go with a percentage.
It can be 45 to 65.
In the autopsy, there's mention of Vic Hanna having, damage to his body from weight gain. Was that your assessment?
Yes, slightly. It wasn't damage, it was more,
Okay.
what's it called? Stretch marks.
There's mention of him having Percocets and Valium in his system. Do you know how much was in his system?
There was high levels of it in his system.
High levels, would that be dangerous levels?
They could be dangerous levels, yes.
Dangerous how?
It could be health, it could cause health issues, it can cause, in some cases it can cause death.
The levels he had in the system, could that have caused death?
The ones in his system at the time, probably not. They were high, but like not at a high as in it's going to kill you.
Could they be a contributing factor in someone's death?
50-50. It depends.
Was Vic dead before the life support was unplugged?
It is to my understanding, yes.
Why plug the life support back in?
As I said, I need to do my checks to make sure.
Sorry. Continue.
If there was a chance that I may have been able to assist, it would have helped.
Was he dead? I mean, there was a the thing they're not bringing up is Vic Hanna. He had in that I specifically remember he literally had a DNR.
So it's your testimony that Vic Hanna was dead before Peters tripped over the life support. Is that correct?
Yes.
How long was he dead for then?
Give or take, probably most likely when he was attacked.
So now apparently Vic Hanna was a DOA. Is that correct? Is that your testimony?
Yes. However, EMS is not allowed to call DOA or time of death until they are at the hospital and a doctor has seen to them.
You may proceed with a redirect examination if you have any.
Just for clarification, Dr. Watson, how long was the alleged life support pulled and unplugged from Vic Hanna?
25 to 30 seconds, roughly.
Dr. Watson, is there a standard practice for keeping a body alive when someone might be brain dead?
Going from doctor to doctor, yes.
Gotcha. And what does that practice?
Until when it comes to a patient being brought into the hospital, they, if we are at time busy or something, or we're dealing with multiple patients at once on what is occurring, just until they are able to be seen by either myself or other doctors or Dr. Skip.
For the court record, can you just explain what a Lucas machine does?
A Lucas machine helps to find the rhythmic beat of the heart, along with also, if needed, it is like an AED. It can it is like a defibrillator. It can help to bring back a patient's pulse.
And if you could just for the court give a medical definition of what brain dead actually means.
No electronic signals within the brain.
Can a body still be functioning during the time of brain death?
Yes, sometimes.
Understood.
So in your previous testimony, you mentioned about a body producing O2 levels. Can you explain what that means?
Well, like every body, O2 levels is literally the oxygen you breathe. So the lungs will most likely still be producing O2 levels.
Maybe I'm mistaken. Do we exhale oxygen?
No.
It's a mixture of gases.
The lungs producing oxygen. Where does that oxygen go then when the lungs produce oxygen?
It normally goes to your blood system and to the body
Okay.
itself.
And as established in your previous testimony, internal decapitation involves severing of the brainstem. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What controls the pumping of blood?
The heart.
And what controls the heart?
Partially the brain.
What else controls it?
Are y'all thinking what I'm thinking on this?
That we're never going to get another doctor or therapist on the stand ever because they're doing this. Yeah.
And it's slightly the
Well,
lungs too.
my immediate thought.
Okay. What controls the
is
lungs?
an age-old quote.
I mean, we can go
She's
there.
not a real
knee
doctor,
bones
Claire.
connected to, you know.
Yeah.
Does the brain
Yeah,
control the
they're literally. Yeah, this is not great.
So is it your testimony that Vic Hanna was still producing O2 levels with a severed brainstem?
In some cases, it can happen. Yes.
How?
There are sometimes really good medical miracles.
There you go.
Body
W
is an
answer.
amazing thing.
No further questions on that testimony.
Okay, cross-examination.
You take this. Just get the life support question out there.
Yep.
If there is any from the state.
There are a couple. Yeah. Life support will force a body to continue functioning. Is that correct?
Yes, it can.
No further questions on cross, Your Honor.
Okay, redirect based on that one question.
Okay. Was Vic Hanna on life support before he got to the hospital?
From what the EMS have told me, yes, he was on the Lucas machine.
Okay, yeah, no further questions.
Next witness from the defense.
The defense has no further witnesses. Mr. Wade is choosing to invoke his Fifth Amendment rights.
All right, very well. Are you resting your case in chief at this time?
Yes, sir.
It's funny coming from an
Mr.
support.
Pred. Hey, Mr. Pred. My life's on the line here, and I don't.
I'm glad it is. You're a piece of shit. I'm honestly glad it is, Wade. I'm glad your life's on the line. You killed a guy, man.
Hey, you
killed a
tried
guy.
your hardest to get back in the PD, and no one wanted to take you.
I didn't
And
try.
now you're running for mayor, and I'm pretty sure we were all there when he came in and said he wants to. I'm pretty sure we were all there.
Yeah. But
We
then
were all there.
I realized what a big mistake that was.
And now Eve is about to wipe the floor with you in this election.
I ain't really met anyone other than you
And
guys
you
that have
go
voted
be
for her, if I'm being honest. It's like you guys in Cypress. The same gang that was
Yeah.
trying to kill all these people is supporting their person. That's crazy.
I mean,
I'm voting for
that's kinda
Larry
how
Knox.
voting works. They don't ever tell you to your face, but eventually the ballots speak for itself. I mean, there was tons of people that I would talk to that would vote for Cornwood or not vote for me, and then
Apparently the guy you killed was an asshole. I'm glad you did it.
He was listen. He did. No one deserves to die like that. But I didn't want to kill him.
What
Okay.
did you say right now?
I did not want him dead.
Hey, how about you just declare that you didn't give a shit that you killed him?
Don't do that.
hey, you shut up, Brad.
Oh, what's up? You can hear
Vic
me
Hanna
over
was
there.
a great man.
Hey. You know what, Vic Hanna? Don't know him, and I'm glad I didn't, because he's dead. It'd be a waste of time me knowing him.
man.
There's a lot of mixed emotions in the room, huh, Cassidy?
I hated that
Yeah, I didn't really like that
Listen,
guy.
you guys are welcome
Cassidy
to continue that
loved that guy,
conversation,
I
but you
think.
can do it outside
The last thing
courtroom,
Vic
okay? I'm not
Hanna
gonna have any
said
more
to me
outbursts.
was, okay, all right, keep sweeping.
Focus
Then
on
the
that
next day he
testimony.
died.
All right, the court is back in session. Are both sides ready to proceed with closing arguments?
Yeah, Your Honor, I wrote stuff and then I'll just wing it, so.
All right, very good. Go ahead and proceed whenever you're ready.
Your Honor, people of the court, today you have a clear and concise testimony from officers on the 1st of October. During a verbal altercation, Marcus Wade pushed and punched Captain Vic Hanna, causing him to collapse to the ground. The autopsy and medical report by EMS and Dr. Wattson clearly show Vic Hanna's medical condition from care to death. The People's B clearly shows in the EMS report that stated that Vic Hanna had no pulse, and 3 rounds of CPR had to be placed, and he had to be placed on a Lucas machine. The People's C, the autopsy report, where the cause of death was clear. Internal decapitation that was ruled as a homicide. I will quote Marcus Wade. Some atrocious things were said, some punches were thrown, and then Vic Hanna said he was going to shoot me, so I slipped into his blind spot, and how do I say this? I tried to stop him from shooting me. At 0219 to 0235, he states, I hit Vic Hanna, in total, 2 to 3 times. The cause of death is clear, and I believe that the state has shown beyond a reasonable doubt that the cause of injury was caused by Marcus Wade. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, State. Defense, when you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, there was some good stuff in there, some not so good. So, I mean, we don't contest that Marcus Wade struck Vic Hanna. That is apparent. But to rise to the amount of second-degree murder, it's just not there. Second-degree murder requires intent. There's no premeditation, but intent. Mr. Wade did not intend to kill Vic Hanna. He intended to stop a threat, but he did not intend to kill. Mr. Wade was on duty at the time. If he wanted to kill Vic Hanna, he had more than enough means to do so. He took a non-lethal means of subduing him. And let's speak about this autopsy and the sort of medical... The prosecution says that Vic Hanna's medical history is irrelevant, but yet we had the doctor on the stand say that depending on someone's medical history, the force required for internal decapitation varies. So does it matter or does it not? Not sure. It's for you to decide, Your Honor. The doctor thinks he was probably dead at MRPD, but apparently he was conscious enough to press his 13 alpha button as noted in evidence. And there's also the fact of the drugs in his system. The man was a drug addict. And as stated by the doctor, that could contribute to someone's death. Why would you put someone on life support if they were dead? The man died. Did Mr. Wade do it? No, he didn't intend to kill. And there's plenty of contributing factors to the man's death. Like I said in my opening, Mr. Wade is no superhero. He is no strongest man in the world. He's a regular officer who does his job well. If you believe he has the strength to internally decapitate someone's spinal cord and brainstem with one strike, then... oof, what a medical and marvelous world we live in. But let's hope that's not the case. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time and professionalism today.
Court
will be in recess
you killed
while
that.
I
I
go
ain't
over
gonna
the
lie.
evidence and determine things.
Thank you.
Keep in mind, I need to review the applicable portions of the interrogation that was taken, which is not transcribed, so I need to take a look at the recording of that. Court is back in session. I have reached a verdict in this matter, and I'll go ahead and read that onto the record now. In the matter of the People versus Marcus Wade, the defendant stands charged with second-degree murder for the death of Captain Vic Hanna. The evidence presented demonstrates that Marcus Wade struck Vic Hanna, resulting in internal decapitation, which caused Hanna's death. Testimonies from multiple witnesses confirm that Wade's actions led directly to Hanna's collapse and eventual death. Now, the court carefully considered the defense's argument that Hanna's body may have still been alive after the strike. However, the testimony of Dr. Peri Wattson and the autopsy clearly established that Vic Hanna suffered brain death due to the severing of his brainstem. Therefore, the defense's claim that Hanna was still alive during transport is not supported by medical facts. The court also analyzed the charge of second-degree murder, which requires the intent to kill or extreme recklessness. While Wade's actions were reckless and violent, the state did not provide sufficient evidence to prove that Wade intended to kill Hanna. The act appears to have been a spontaneous assault during a heated exchange rather than one with the intent to cause death. Instead, the court finds that Marcus Wade's actions fall under the legal definition of manslaughter, which is the criminally reckless or negligent killing of another person without the intent to kill. While Wade's actions were reckless and violent, the state did not provide sufficient evidence to prove that Wade intended to kill Hanna. The act appears to have been a spontaneous assault during a heated exchange rather than one with the intent to cause death. Instead, the court finds that Marcus Wade's actions fall under the legal definition of manslaughter, which is the criminally reckless or negligent killing of another person without the intent to kill. Wade's actions were reckless enough to cause the death, but they lacked the intent or premeditation required for a second or first-degree murder charge. Therefore, this court finds the defendant guilty of manslaughter in relation to the death of Vic Hanna. The defendant shall be sentenced in line with the penal code to 113 months in prison and fined $18,750.
No,
State
we're
marshals
fired.
are hereby ordered to remand Mr. Wade into custody
ain't
and prosecute
no
accordingly.
way.
Free
That is
Wade
the
till
order
it's
of the court.
backwards.
Your Honor, will the court entertain a felony diversion program, or is it too big a charge?
This court will not entertain a felony diversion program entry for a charge that resulted in death or a violent felony. So no, felony diversion program will not be considered in this case.
I mean, he did a service to the city, to be honest.
Yeah,
I understand. That is the
Your Honor. I've been an officer of the law for 7 months.
Don't even worry about it, bro. Listen, we're gonna get that GoFundMe going. Listen, we're gonna get that.
I'll get the expungement, but still,
we're gonna get that expungement.
You are welcome to seek an expungement once the applicable time has passed.
Yeah, I got you, bro. On everything.
Mr. Wade, do you mind just stepping away from the galley? I got him, Mr. Wade. Just step over here.
Perfect. Thank you.